Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bobble Pod. Before we begin, as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hello YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell notification to get our episodes that come out weekly. On this episode, we're going to talk about building your local SEO presence. And it kind of stems from a post I shared on LinkedIn. There was a company called Restaurant Near Me. I'll get Josh to put it up on YouTube, the image. I'll send it to him when we do the edit. But it's quite funny in terms of what companies will do to support their local SEO. But a lot of businesses really neglect their local SEO. We're helping a new company in London called Taco, who just launched with their local SEO, getting their Google My Business element set up. And I think it's a good topic to talk about. And what I'm going to do in this podcast is just go through some key tips of what you can do to improve your local SEO as well, to give you some, obviously, as always, some really good advice and support to get going. So local SEO, what is it? So search engine optimization, which is what SEO stands for, is a process of what we call improving your search engine visibility for local businesses. Basically, at the primary level, it's the brick and mortar locations. So by following what we call local SEO best practices, you can improve your organic traffic from searches performed by customers, basically in nearby areas. And you'll notice this because your IP and your GPS location is tracked on your mobile phones, devices, your laptops, based on what Wi-Fi or internet connection you're done to. So if you search for something, it tends to always bring up local searches, but if you do local searches, you'll see that as well. Remember, search engines rely on signals such as local content, social profile pages, links, citations, etc., to help gather information to identify what is a local business and what is local content. So, with that in mind, here are my tips to build and improve your local SEO presence. And tip number one is optimize for Google My Business. So if you haven't already, and this is fundamental, is you need to get your Google My Business element set up. And if you're not sure what that does, just type into Google My Business, and then sign up with a Google Gmail account and get it set up. You can add in images, you can add in information about your opening and closing times, reviews about your businesses will be there, offers, information about what your business does will be there, contact links to your website, social profiles is all there. So when someone searches for, let's say, digital marketing agency leads or PPC agency leads, we pop up in the local map pack within Google because of our Google My Business profile presence. And then that is a fundamental area. You should always start with a local SEO. And I'll get on to what you need to do when you've got, multiple locations in terms of what you should do that in the first place. So first tip is optimize your Google My Business. Second one is engage on social media and add posts to your Google My Business. So you can add social content to your, I'm going to call it GMB for short, which is obviously stands for Google My Business. You can add social posts. So if you're doing organic posts and posting on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you can connect that and add those posts as well onto your Google My Business for further reach and further localizations. So if you're, a new taco food store in London, or if you're a dentist in Leeds, for example, or just a local business that operates in the local area, then you want to be talking and sharing content out to your local area, to your local audience. And when your local audience is searching for that specific content or information about your products or services, you want to make sure you can appear in the same way. So engage and use Google My Business and social media together. Ensure that your name, address, and phone number are all consistent online. And when I mean fully consistent, I mean your address and location needs to be on your social media profiles. It needs to be correct on your website. It needs to be correct on your Google My Business. If you're on directories and stuff like that, let's say like Yell or anything like that, you need to have it all accurate and information. Consistency is key. So if you've moved locations or moved address or moved premises, you need to make sure that all that gets updated wherever you left a footprint of where your original offices were, because then that will impact your local SEO in terms of how Google finds you. And then that leads on perfectly to tip 4, optimize your online directories and citations. So Tip 4 is, when I say online directories, I mean stuff like Yale.com or any other kind of like phone directory or address directory there is. You can do Reddit if you want to do Reddit and put stuff on there. Citations are, how you get featured on local, like, news publications and stuff like that. So they're the things you kind of want to optimize for as local elements to your website. And point 5 is more of a detailed tip, and I've broken that into more sub-elements, which is perform a local SEO audit. And what do I mean by performing a local SEO audit? Well, some of the things I've already mentioned, but to start off with, do a local competitor analysis. Who are you competing with in the local region? For example, if you're a dentist and you're an independent dentist, but you're only based in Leeds, how many other independent dentists are there in Leeds or within a 5-mile radius of you that your potential customers might go to instead of you? So do and consider other local competitors. Have a look at their Google My Business. Have a look at their digital presence. Have a look at what you find when you're searching for your services or products. And are your competitors coming up? If so, clearly they're doing a better job about local SEO than others. The next thing you want to do as part of your local SEO audit is look at your Google My Business. Is it fully complete? So make sure all the information about your business is there, contact information, numbers, links to websites, social media, directions, everything's correct. So make sure all that is done. Third point is review your Google Search Console. So Search Console is another free Google tool that you can do. You can look at what local searches are happening, impressions and clicks. That way you can see if you're actually being pulled up for local searches. For us, it'll be stuff like PPC agency lead. So that's a local search. That is local SEO. It's PPC agency, which is what we do, one of the services we offer, which is pay-per-click advertising. We're an agency that offers that, but we're based in Leeds as an office. So look at your Google Search Console to see, how much searches you're appearing for organically, how many clicks and impressions that's working for, and what's working for you to identify, well, are you actually appearing for the local keywords? And then you can start optimizing your on-page content, which is the next thing you need to look at as part of your SEO audit, which is your on-page SEO elements. Look at the content, the page, is it optimized? So the reason we're position 1 for the term PPC agency leads is because our PPC page is optimized for the local region, because it's a high competitive area within Leeds for digital marketing agencies and PPC agencies, but we've done well with our local SEO to get position 1. And do a website audit. Have a look at how good your website is. Is it mobile optimized? Is it mobile first? Is it user friendly? Is it easy to navigate? Don't forget you get a crawl budget from Google. So have a look at how quickly or how well or how fast are your local pages, loading on mobile devices. And then finally, look at your core web vitals. So you can go to pagespeed.insights, which is a Google free tool, and you can see how well your website's doing from a technical perspective in terms of improving your site speed. What's causing it to load slowly or load quickly, and you can identify which pages are performing well, which pages need your priority and your focus. So tip 5, which includes all those points, is perform a local SEO audit. Tip 6 is improve your internal linking structure. So if you're creating, if you've got our pages linked to each other pages, our pages linked to other blogs that are, local focused. I think at the time of this recording, we actually have a PR piece that's come out on Prolific North about some new client wins of a Leeds-based agency. So we internal link to our article about that. That's then been shared on news publications. But internal linking is all about making sure you keep users on site for longer. But if they're looking for a local dentist, you want to make sure they're looking for local services and support, access, directions. Is there a map on your website? Local reviews. What have existing local customers said about it, etc. So focus on that. Optimize your URL, title tags, headers, meta descriptions, and content. That's just the basics of all, what we call SEO. It's the key thing you should be doing. You should be highlighting elements to improve everything in terms of your SERP. So that's your search engine results pages. Every time you write a piece of content, you need to optimize the content for your search engines using high volume keywords in the URL, title, header, meta descriptions, and then the body of the content that you're writing. So that's why optimizing that is really, really important. And you need to be considering local keywords as part of that action. Tip 8, we're running through these very, very quickly. Tip 8 is add location pages to your website. This is really, really important if you have multiple locations. So if you're just a local business, then you want to make sure you have, optimized for like a Leeds page, keywords represent, your local city. If you're, let's say, a business that has multiple locations, let's say Leeds, London, Manchester, or even more sub areas, let's say it's within West Yorkshire, that's where we're based, could be Leeds, Bradford, Wakefield, then you want to optimize for those specific keywords and terms. So what you need to do is make sure you have location pages that provide readers with your name, address, phone number. If it's like retail store hours, key descriptions for each individual location, parking, transit information, promotions, testimonials from happy local customers. You just got to optimize that for individual location pages that you have and that you need. But avoid duplicate content with that across location pages. It's easier when you're just a single location. For multiple ones, you need to add, different locations. And then you need to have different locations in your Google My Business as well. So you're not just going to have one Google My Business location. In that, you're going to have multiple. So you're going to have to create a GMB for, it's all one account, but within that, you'll have multiple locations in your GMB of where your offices are based, and you can manage the individual profiles and socials. As I mentioned, it's part of tip 1, and as part of the audit you would do as part of tip 5. So add location pages and multiple location pages if you've got more than one location. Tip 9, create local content. Now, this is probably the most fundamental one. You're not going to rank for localized keywords if you don't have localized content. So you need to understand and do some keyword research into what content needs to be created. Don't just create content and start stuffing it with local keywords or location keywords like cities. Actually have a keyword strategy in terms of what are the local keywords someone would search for our services. So is it dentist near me, or dentist or emergency dentist Leeds, or emergency dentist, Bradford, whatever the location is. You need to then create content around that so that you can rank for that content. So in the body of the text, you can add in that specific keyword focus. Then that goes back to point 7, optimizing the URL, the meta titles, the header, the meta descriptions for that localized keyword. So you need to create local content. Point 10 is ensure your website is mobile friendly. I mentioned this as part of when you're doing the SEO audit. So a mobile friendly website is really, really important. I've mentioned this on multiple podcasts before when I talk about SEO, or if you see me ever present and talk about SEO. The key things that really have changed with Google over the past few years is that it's mobile first, but now it's mobile first indexing. So it'll index websites in terms of how they rank or what position you rank organically based on how well your website is mobile optimized. And I understand if you're a local business, you don't have as much funds to invest in your website, but you have to do it. It's a long-term investment, not a short-term investment in your website. It should always be the forefront of your business, especially if you're relying on inquiries, people to call you, people to find you. That's how they're going to find you without spending a lot of money on actual digital advertising. So a mobile-friendly website is going to be really, really important. And if you're a service-based website, it's not going to be as expensive as, let's say, an e-commerce or retail-based website. So consider that, that your website is mobile-friendly. Point 11 is get inbound links with relevance and authority. Now, that's more of a more difficult one. Inbound links are opportunities for you to grow your local SEO. So that's your inbound link tells Google you're a legitimate company. So it builds your domain authority. They raise your domain authority as well as, letting you network and build, link authority based on DA. So DA is domain authority, or DR, which is domain ranking. And that score, if you ever use a tool like SEMrush, should be at least 40 to 50 in terms of that's a good DA. Now, the only way to kind of build that authority is by having other websites tell Google you're a real company by referring links back to it. So the reason our PPC agency Leeds keyword ranks position 1 on Google is that page has strong links built that confirm we're a legitimate company to Google, but references how we're a PPC agency in Leeds. So it has the keyword anchor text within it that support it. So when people are searching for it, Google's looking at all these different elements, not just your website and your social presence and everything you're doing, but also where's your brand and company being linked to from other relevant sources to help you rank. So inbound linking is really, really important. It builds your local relevance. It builds your authority. And that can be done simply through, working with local bloggers or getting guest bloggers on your website or being on a blogger's website as a guest. It's, featuring on local news articles, etc. It's featuring, let's say, Yorkshire Evening Post if it's here in Leeds, or the Leeds Business Desk or something like that, or more reputable businesses that will have location breakdowns of agencies. So, for example, I mentioned earlier in this podcast, we featured in Prolific North, but that's going to help us because Prolific North is, agencies in the north, and then they break it down by key city location. So we'll feature in the Leeds page as well, which will go back to our website. And that's just a great example. And the final tip 12, links to that bit, because you have to go out and build links, but you also need to participate in your local community. And then the only best way to do that is through digital PR. So being reactive and, giving comments or being available for comment. So if someone, let's say a local newspaper is looking for a comment because there's been a change in dental law, or, if you, let's say you're a small accountant in Leeds and they want a financial advice or someone's view on the budget and they're doing a piece on it, make sure you're there. Make sure you're getting involved with your local publications. Make sure you're doing digital PR where you're creating content about the company that talks about how you're in that location and growing. The article about us today is about the new clients we've achieved and the growth we've had. That was then shared on social media by a department, which is the building we're in now, if you're looking on YouTube. So, they talked about how we're, their Leeds residences. All this digital PR creates good noise. In some cases, you will get links from those articles back to your website. But the idea is that you're just really participating in local community. So you want to make sure that you're getting involved in local awareness. And it helps with point 11, which is inbound links, but it's not the key focus of it. It's about raising your awareness locally and getting you referenced as that local company. So they're my 12 tips, just to summarize. Point 1, optimize for Google My Business. Point 2, engage on social media and reference that on your Google My Business page. Tip 3, ensure your name, address, and phone number is all consistent online. Tip 4, optimize online directories and citations. Tip 5, then perform a local SEO audit, looking at competitors, your Google My Business, your Google Search Console, on-page SEO, web audit, and core web vitals. Point 6, improve your internal linking structure. Point 7, optimize your URLs, title tags, headers, meta descriptions, and content. Point 8, add location pages, which is really important if you've got multiple locations. Point 9, create local content for your website. Page 10, ensure your website is mobile friendly to be in line with the algorithms and the search engines that you're trying to rank on. Point 11, get inbound links to build relevancy and authority, as discussed. And then point 12, participate in local community. And the best way to do that is digital PR and news stories. A kind of a shorter podcast, but getting straight to the point. And it all comes down to, because we've worked on a couple of local SEO pieces right now, we're helping it. And it came up as a post in terms of what was companies now changing their name to Restaurants Near Me, so that if they type into Google, their brand name will appear. It's a smart way, but there's a lot more to do with SEO than just that a potential trick, because then you're kind of like restricted in terms of building your brand than just having search keywords around it. But there's a lot of tools you can use to help you, like SEMrush, remember Google My Business, Search Console, Page Speed Insights are all free tools. Use your Google Analytics, GA4 now to help you. Hopefully that's been of use and interest if you're a local business. Do give us your feedback on that. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, click on the bell notification. Please at us at Bobble Digital. Use the hashtags Mr. Bobble, hashtag BobblePod, and hashtag AskBobble for your questions, queries, and we'd love to get your feedback on our tips for local SEO and for your business. Let us know if you've implemented them. Let us know if it's helped. It's good to know. It's good to get feedback. We'll catch you on our next episode next week. And thank you for listening and watching.